This
Hello.
call is being recorded.
Hello, dear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, I thought it'd be cool to do something different tonight.
Okay, what's up?
I thought instead of being together in person in our very posh house, living our life of luxury, sipping on our lavender tea, that maybe we might record a podcast over the phone, because I'm working up at the farm and you're working at home, right?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, hit him with the intro.
Hello and welcome back to the family table. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Noah.
The coffee pot is on. Pull up a chair and let's chat. How's that?
That's good. We'll fix it. We'll fix it in post. Don't worry. It's good. It's good. We'll tighten this up later.
All right,
yeah.
listeners. Last week you met us when we were in the dark during our power outage. We ended up having power. We ended up not having power for a week. But we are back in business with power. But now the pressure is on. We would like to really move out of our current house and into the farmhouse. So that's what we're doing. So as Noah mentioned, we are not together right now. Now listen, don't let that be a rumor started that we're separated.
Jeez, Elizabeth.
I mean, we're currently not in the same home. That's even worse. Oh my gosh. So
yeah. You gotta be careful. You're gonna have so many suitors banging down your door in just a few moments.
Oh man.
Is that a knock right now?
That's it. So no, Noah and I have been doing a lot of dividing and conquering. I've been at our current house and packing up, trying to get everything moved out. Noah has been at our future house, just trying to get it ready for us to move in. So a lot of dividing and conquering, but things are going well though, right?
Yes. And I wasn't kidding. I'm literally up at the farm working, so you're going to hear me banging on stuff a little bit and putting stuff together. Currently, I'm in our laundry room, and I've been plumbing today. It's been a fiasco. I'm currently putting in our shower head and doing the plumbing to get the shower supply there. I've already got the drain in, but I've been to Ace Hardware today 3 times. And I need to go back, but they're closed. So it's just the way I roll. What's that?
So they don't stay open just for you?
Yeah, they probably would. I could probably call Hunter and the gang, and they would open up for me. But I know all their names. I had some of them in school. It's kind of funny. I
like is yesterday you called there to see if they had something before you had to go to Terre Haute or not, and they did have it. But you called, and they were like, Ace Hardware, and you're like, oh, hey, it's Noah. Like, you didn't give a last name. You didn't give anything. You just said, hey, it's Noah, and they just knew it was you. Like, they just knew.
What's that, my brother?
Right.
Yeah, I know. I know, man.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money there. It's good to me. I usually can get what I want. But it's just been kind of a frustrating, plumbing is my kryptonite. I just struggle with it because it's frustrating, and it's mostly just the waste sign. Like, there's always a piece I don't have, or that I glue up wrong and I got to redo it. And so it's just always a fiasco.
True. It's true. So, yeah. I feel like it's been a really good week. It's like the week has felt long, but short at the same time.
We got a lot to talk about. Lots of recap.
Talk about. So, I think we told you did we tell them last time? No.
Did we tell them what?
I think I remember the last podcast. I think it was last Friday, the last podcast. Thursday or Friday. So something big happened from our Murphy house to our farm.
Oh, that's right.
All of the animals successfully moved to the farm.
It was a big, yeah, that's right.
Did we say before? Maybe we did.
I don't remember. I don't remember telling them, but it was a big deal.
If we told you already, just act surprised. But all the animals moved. 139 chickens, 7 goats, 2 dogs. So all we have left here is Annie, who's our corgi, and our 2 cats. But it was a good move. Everyone seems healthier. Everybody seems happier, which is just really encouraging for us as we all move. Hopefully we all feel that way. We move healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a really great move. We had, in addition to our chicken area this week, somebody that Noah and I went to high school with, he builds hen boxes, like laying boxes. They're super sturdy, such high quality. So we ordered 4 of them. They each have 10 spots, so we have now 40 hen laying boxes. And like we've only had them for a day, and I felt like there's already been a little uptick in egg production. So I'm really happy with those. It's just chores now are taking like no time at all. It's just all around a super great thing. So that's
that was a bit. Don't rush over that because that was a heck of a thing. That really took a lot of coordination. You were a beast. You caught all the chickens at our old house because it was just a mud pit. Listen, we built that originally for, what was it, 12 chickens?
12 chickens, and we thought maybe 2 goats.
Yeah, 1, maybe 2 goats. And we ended up with 139 and 7 goats on this quarter-acre run. It was just way too much. You know, I heard farm people talk about like pressure on the ground or whatever. We blew that ground up. It was crazy. I did not like it. I knew I was holding out because I knew we were moving and I knew they would be happier. It's kind of the only thing that kind of kept me going. But they are so much happier. They're dry. We moved these birds that I hadn't seen very much of, and they were muddy and they looked gross. We moved them and put
from a drought to like days of rain in a row, and it was just like really awful. Like it was just everything was wet and soggy. It was just really rough. It was really rough. So they all look so great. They really do.
Yeah. A couple of days with clean shavings in it, and there was birds I didn't recognize that were these. I felt bad for them when we were moving, and then they're just like these beautiful birds all of a sudden, and I was real excited for them. And they're producing well, and they're safe, and they're all together, which is the first. And the goats are doing great, so it's a big win.
Big win. It was good.
Did you do something different?
I just moved my phone because I'm moving rooms. My parents helped a lot with getting all the animals moved. My mom, she grew up like her high school years living where we're moving to at the farm, and she like had cattle. She had a few pigs and stuff, but chickens definitely are not like her stick, like at all. Like the very few times we've gone anywhere, she'll come and check on things. So it's definitely not her area. And she like was carrying chickens for us, and I was just it was so like I was so proud of her. And I'd be like, don't drop this chicken. Like we cannot.
We'll be chasing it for the next 45 minutes this week.
Right, because like because they were all stirred up and out of their routine. So I was like, if we drop this chicken, like it'll be hard to get it caught with everybody else packed up. So
actually, we were saying things like follow Amelia's example.
I know Amelia, our daughter, she is like the chicken whisperer.
She's really good.
Nothing scares that child. Like nothing. We had the turkeys, for a while, and now they're like huge. They're like probably closing on 30 pounds. And she still thinks like she can get in there and like pick these turkeys up. And I'm like, listen, I bet you could, but I don't think you should try to pick up these turkeys. So that's not
so that was big. The goats are doing great. They're with the dogs out here, and their fence isn't quite done yet, but they're in a pen that was as big as the pen they were living in, or the fence area of the old place. I don't feel too bad for them.
Yeah, they're doing really well, and they're covered really well out of the sun. So they're really doing great. They next week, a week from now, we'll be in our 4-H fair. So we have 3 of our goats going to the fair, which is super exciting. And so just like that's on our mind too. The power being out was a bummer. Like it really was. It was inconvenient for a lot of people. We were safe. We luckily had a place to go to cool off and reset, clean up. But something that really did for us was it helped us feel really disassociated from our current house. Like there's cleaning off drawers or cleaning out drawers. It really helped us feel disassociated in this house. When we came back from the power being out, there's really minimal emotion to this being a home to us at all. And that really sort of jump-started us of let's get out of here early. So that's our plan right now is we have the 20th to be in here, but our plan is to be out of here this week. So that was a silver lining blessing to the power being out like that because we still had some emotions with this current house and leaving it, but that really sort of helped us lose all emotions to it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think the kids are coming along to that too.
They are, yeah. They are.
Thank God for 80-mile-per-hour straight winds and the lack of power for 7 days. I'm pretty sure we were the last to get power.
Every day we would get an update and it would say it started out with 9,000 customers and every day it went down. And I swear to you, the last day it was 200 customers. I was like, we are those customers. That is our neighborhood.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I'm grateful to have power back and to be back in the 21st century, right?
Are you saying that like you're not sure it's the 21st century? Did you get confused?
Listen,
I know you wish it was the olden times, but yes,
I consider myself a fairly intelligent person, barely. I mean, most days. Some days, it's in the day. There's this chemical Noah tells me that helps your brain, and I forget. By this time of night, I'm forgetting things. I think I've just used some. What's that chemical, Noah?
No, you tell me. What's that chemical, Elizabeth?
I'm gonna guess because it has the name Sarah in it. I think maybe not.
What? Not even close. Acetylcholine. It's acetylcholine. It always has it's a neurotransmitter.
So, at the end of the day, I run out of that chemical and I just get worn out and forget simple things. So today I forget what century we're in. So there's that. So, all right. So other updates we have going on in our life. The farmhouse, you would not even recognize it. It looks so much like a real home. It's fantastic. The flooring is finished in several of the first floor rooms. Both bathrooms are tiled. The laundry room has flooring in it. The homeschool room has flooring in it, and the kitchen has flooring in it. This week, our hardwood gets installed, and hopefully they can squeeze the carpet in this week too. So we're really close. We're really getting close to that. Noah's been working really hard to get the plumbing ready to go. My dad finished up electrical this past weekend. So that's really fantastic. My mom did all the painting of the first floor of all the walls. I got all the cabinets. They look so good. I feel until this point in our life, we've chosen a lot of neutral colors over the time. And we kind of this choose some like real colors, and I've been so happy with it. I think H-Room becomes my new favorite. The tile and the homeschooling kitchen, we've had this tile for like a long time, like since like I think it's November, and to just see it like now in place and grouted and set, it just like really came to life and made it. I'm so happy with it. The tile, I really thought I would choose a very neutral color, like a cream or a gray or whatever, but I kept being really drawn to blue tile, which I feel like is not what I would normally choose. But I really kept being drawn to blue tile, and so then I was showing my great uncle a picture of the tile. He is the last one of like that generation who was born and lived in the house originally. He was born in a house, and he was the youngest of the 5 Bradshaw
set fire
children.
to that house.
He was the first one to set fire to the house. That'll be another story for another day. We'll let him tell it one day. And I was telling him this and showed him, and he said that my great grandma, who we called Mom Bradshaw, she had blue kitchen dishes. So I just find that I really like that. It makes me feel even more connected to like the past generations that lived there, to know that there's these little things like this that we can honor and sort of add our own spin to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What would you like? It's weird not being, like across from you, like doing this stuff. But like, there's no playing on like cues or like signing to each other as we're talking.
There's none of you hit me that I've been rambling on too long or anything like that.
Right. Or you see me like saying wrap it up or cut it out.
Yeah, wrap it up. I'm ready to go to bed.
Wrap it up. No, yeah.
No, between that, our fair starts next week.
It does.
Which is big for us. And they chose chickens. We're going to take a turkey, 2 bantams, and a silver-laced Wyandotte bird.
And then,
beautiful. Why don't you give everybody I'm getting ready to mark, measure, and drill a hole or 3. So why don't you give a rundown on how the dog show went?
Okay. So Henry's already finished one of his 4-H projects, and that is the dog club dog show. Henry shows our oldest dog, our collie Murphy, in dog club. And like dog club used to like show up and show your dog. Like they've been working so much with this dog club program. They started I think in January, meeting and just learning without the dogs, so just learning about dog handling and learning all the stuff. And then in March they started meeting like once a week, and then I forget when they started meeting twice a week, maybe May, and they started meeting twice a week. And they with the dogs, where they do some obedience, they do showmanship, and they also do agility. Like if you see the dog shows on TV where they're walking on the seesaw or doing the boardwalk or jumping through over like jumps or going through a tunnel, they do that with the dogs. And so it was a 2-night show. The first night was obedience and showmanship, and the second night will pop. The second night was agility. Henry worked hard. He worked with Murphy, did all the stuff, but Murphy just did not perform well. Like he really
did not do very well.
Was in a mood completely. Between his first year and second year of dog show, the first year they're fully on lead, doing all the sit, stay, heel, all that stuff. In the second year, they're fully off lead. So they have to like walk with the 4-H'er. They have to sit. They have to stay. Do all these little tricks, and then also agility. So doing all the tricks off lead. And obedience and showmanship went okay, but agility just did not go well at all. And I felt really bad for Henry. He really like kept his composure and like kept at it. It just was not. It did not reflect the hard work he put into it, and I feel bad.
Yeah.
Part of the, I think part of Murphy's
Yes.
of Murphy's downfall was especially in agility. Amelia and Arthur and Winston and Elliot were sitting like in the front row, and Murphy like spotted them like right away, and he kept being really drawn to where they were sitting, like going over and just like going to the gate where they were sitting, which was kind of interesting to me. And then also like kind of interesting to me is like he's a collie. I don't think collies are bred or made to be like high jumper, whatever. But I'm like, there are some kids out there that need to be herded or like give them something to protect.
Yeah. Let's get some sheep out here to put in a pen or something.
Right. Have a chicken loose and tell him to bring it in. He'll do it. So
I'll do that.
he, like I said, Henry did not lose his composure. He really kept going. I was so proud of him, but he was definitely discouraged immediately. And I actually was kind of nervous he might not do it next year, but I think since he's had time to reflect on it, he's fine with it now.
It's a really good group. I think he'll bounce back. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, that was good. Sorry about that. Got holes in the shower.
I was just thinking, like, just don't get injured on the phone.
I don't know if you could hear. I don't know if you could hear me drilling a minute ago or not. I was trying to.
Yeah.
Be quite honest. Well, I got 2 more to do here. Let me just talk a second while I'm doing this. But I'm real happy that the kid that won the agility. He did.
He's such a good kid.
He's a good boy, and he worked hard, and just real happy for him.
Yeah.
And I think Henry was happy for him.
He was. He's so happy for Yes. Henry does not care that he didn't win. I think he was just disappointed in Murphy behaved. That was where he was. The 4-H'er who won Grand Tour of Agility, everybody, like all the 4-H'ers just cheered for him. And I, honest to goodness, I started to cry because I just love this kid. I think he just really deserved, like he really worked. He worked hard and it reflected.
And he had no idea that he won either. When they were saying who.
They say all the different places and first laugh.
Yeah.
And I think he honestly, watching his face, I think he thought they forgot to call his name.
Yeah, I think you're right. Right. Last hole, please hold. This call is very important to us. Take that. Okay. You were all just witnesses to me cutting through the shower for our handle, the hot cold water handle. And that was nerve-wracking, but I was paying a lot of attention, I'm sure.
Right.
As I chit-chat and whatnot.
Right.
So Dog Show was a big success. I'm happy it's over. It did eventually kind of like, it ended up taking like a lot of time, but it was a lot of good time. And, it was wonderful. I just wish I wasn't trying to build a house right in the middle of it. It would have been better for me, but it's not all about me. I get it.
I'm glad you know that.
It's not always about me, but occasionally.
I'm currently packing up Noah's dresser. That's what I'm working on. And there are items on here that have been lost. And I'm like, Oh,
Somebody stole it. Somebody stole it.
right. Like I like Noah's drawers. We could fill a toolbox for between screwdrivers, WD-40. I think every color Sharpie. So now I know where to look when things are missing.
You find Hoffa in there?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so flooring's done. All this is going really well. I'm trying to think what else. What else is?
I'm just thankful to have power back and to see people not lose their minds so much right now. Like, they're starting to become more normal and a little more appreciative of things. It was it's something about people's true colors when that comes out. Like, you always say, like, don't hold people too high, or don't meet your heroes because they're just going to, disappoint you. I had a little bit of that, like, when I would look on Facebook and even see, we have a group around our place, and you might have something like this. It's called Chatter. Might be like your town gossip or something like that. But this is the group where if an ambulance is... Yeah, I was going to say, if an ambulance is driving down the road, this is the one where everybody got something that said, ambulance going south, who's got it? Just trying to keep up with things. That was just the absolute mess of a show this week with having all the power out, just trashing everybody. And you kind of expect it from that group, but then I was seeing it from other people I respect more. Part of it is like, I don't care if you think it, but you don't have to say it out loud where it's going to live for eternity in written form, Just, I'll be up on a high horse.
Yeah. Noah, any topics you want to talk about tonight?
Any topics I want to talk about tonight? There's lots of them, but did you have anything off your head you want to talk about?
No, I think a topic that, and I don't know what other people are going through, but I know in our community, in our circles, there's been a lot of sadness, I feel like, going through the community and in our circle. And I think something to remind others of and just to remind ourselves of is to offer grace to others and kindness to others, because I feel like there's a lot of people going through a lot of big life right now, good and bad. And I'm not talking about Noah and I personally. Everything's good in our world. But there's just a lot, don't you feel like, going on?
Yeah.
So I think
we're entering that season like of adulthood where you heard stories of things happening and it was like, oh, it was all from afar, or from people a lot older than you, or, that won't really impact. That's sad, but I'm not really impacted here. And now it's like, oh,
we're the adults.
We're the adults now. Oddly enough, we're going to be looking at 40 in a couple of years here. And that just baffles me. I know everybody goes through this as it's like, man, Backstreet Boys were just popular yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, time is really flying on me. And it used to be that those things happened to other people, and now it's like happening in my world, and I don't...
It's the people we love. Like,
yeah, I don't really know how that happened. And, like, we had an experience where a relative of mine, a young man, passed away. And it's just, people get taken too quickly. It reminded me a lot about my brother, and we went to the funeral, and it's just one of those things where it's like, I remember going to the funeral homes, and my mom and dad would go, and they had, they would go up and say something, and I would just be the quiet one. And now we went to a funeral home, and it was us to try to offer some comforting words. And just a lot of big life happening. Change is the word I was kind of thinking about when I was talking about, like, the other subjects. Like, yes, moving is a change, but, we have both had experiences of the ending of a season and the beginning of a season, in our work lives and our what church we're going to lives, and there's a lot of closure that needs to happen with each of those. And the older that we get, the harder, more personally we take things, the harder that it is to make any of those changes.
Mm-hmm.
The more we'd rather just live in denial than actually make any changes, because it's comfortable and it's what we know. Sometimes change is thrust upon us, like I was saying with the example of an individual passing away. And sometimes change is just there waiting for us to make up our mind if we're going to go and do it or not. And we're in that season right now in the last, let's call it 20 months. We've made a difficult decision to change churches, which was the closing of a door. And it wasn't like, we're out of here, as and some people do. It just was time to make a change for us and to just try something else for our family. And that was really hard because we had people we loved there, and we weren't, not like we were saying we were never going to see you again, but things are just different at that point. And then on the other side of that, we find new people, we find a new church, and we really get comfortable and get to know those people, and there's a lot of great things that happen there. And, we changed churches. Everybody went through the changes with COVID and being apart, and there's a lot of psychological changes that go along with that. But when you decide to change jobs, like just for the record, I don't think either of us would think about changing jobs, but we both know what that's like. Mm-hmm. The silent churning of the mind, and maybe it's time to the point where
this call is being recorded.
Just a reminder that this call is being recorded.
Sorry about that, friend.
I think we timed out on our app we were using, so just to put a pin on that. There's a season for change. The Bible talks about it. There's a time for everything, and you're going to encounter that in your life, and it's okay that it's hard, because it is. Sometimes you're going to be sad about a change, you're going to be happy about a change. You're going to need a year to adjust to some changes. Like us leaving the house, it's taken us, when did we decide to move here, 13 months ago or so?
No, more than that.
I don't know, it's all been a blur.
Yeah. And I think, I remember learning one time that grief isn't just about the death of somebody. And I think that there's the grief of losing something or someone, but also grief can come from change and just the loss of something familiar and all that. And there's definitely a grieving process in a lot of areas of life. And I think sometimes we don't recognize that, whether it is changing jobs or changing, your social setting or church, whatever. But just allowing ourselves to feel those emotions and to go through it, I think, is important.
You're really good at doing the counselor thing of verbalizing to people, oh my gosh, it must have been so hard for you, and saying things out loud that you would want people to say to you. And so, like, if I could encourage people that either are going or have other people going through change, it's so nice every once in a while to hear from another breathing individual, like, oh my gosh, are you doing okay with that? Or,
the validation of people.
Yeah, we're also helper people. Like, we'll be like, you and I always jump in, is there anything that we can do? Can we make a meal? Can we, we rattle off 6 or 7 things that we would like to do. But more often, it's just better if you're just like, hey, yeah, that's really tough. You must be really going through something. I'll be thinking about you. I'll be praying for you.
And then following up with that person, like following up, whether it's in a day or a week or a month or when you see them next, that's important too. I think it's easier for me sometimes to process or to deal with things when I can be helping in some way. Like instead of just like sitting, I'd rather be like doing those things. And it also makes my prayers feel like they have feet on them, that they have feet and they have hands. And
feet.
I'm doing.
I thought you said heat. I'm like, woo. Heat's not really what you want in a prayer. That's coming from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Feet. Feet.
Yes. Feet, because there's doing something. It's an action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going through change, but life is a constant state of change. I can't freaking believe that we have a 10, an 8, a 6, and at the end of the month we'll have 4-year-olds. Like, that kind of change is moving underneath my feet as if the earth spins, and there's nothing I can do about it, and there's nothing I really even notice, except every 12 months I look up again and like, wait a minute, Henry will be driving in 5 years and 4 months.
Right.
You know, hypothetically.
Well, and just that our babies really aren't babies. Like, they're 4. Right. You know, that's just strange to me because we had 5 kids in 6 years, and I said we were in baby mode for so long. Where I just recently bought a purse for the first time in a decade because I carried a diaper bag forever, and you know, just like those baby years are done. Like, that's just, it's a weird. I can't talk about it a whole lot because I get choked up because it's so crazy. Like, huh?
Yeah, you get a little verklempt. That's tearful in Yiddish.
But it's also been nice not to buy a pack of diapers for 2 years.
Oh, hallelujah! Hallelujah! I don't miss that at all.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever not have baby wipes on hand, but
Good.
Yeah.
I just broke something, but don't worry.
How you do? It's all right. You just need an excuse to go see your friends at Ace.
Hey, I get to go back. Lord. Okay, I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back. No, I was having a hard time drilling. I just drilled the top part where the shower head goes. I forgot about that. That's my last hole to drill, I promise.
I've heard that before.
Said that before, yeah. But yeah, it's weird to wake up and, you know, there's some changes that hit you in a day, and there's some changes that hit you over the course of years. So having the ability to kind of roll with things, it's also really good if you can find a partner in life that is also able to roll with things. I think that's one of your and I's best strengths together is, when I'm down or freaking out, you're usually calm and got it together. And both of us have been through enough, like, not interpersonal skills or counseling skills to be able to, like, talk each other off the ledge and reassure each other. That's not something everybody has nor needs. But
if we were both freaking out at the same time, man.
Then you should worry. Don't worry, we would take to the Brazil chatter, and everybody would know about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, can we tell the Amelia Earhart story?
Should we end on that? Just add a little like humor.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and people probably like see it funny. Oh, why do you think this is hilarious? So our kids, I'd say all 5 of them, they are all history buffs. Like, they love learning about people. They love like the history of things. And we have found these really, really cool books, and I'll look at the title of them. And they talk about different people. I gotta type my password. Hold on.
Well, while you're telling that, while you're looking that up, My favorite thing in life is when my kids go to a museum and ask a question or point something out, and the curator or the little guide there is like, I don't think that's right. And then they come back in 20 minutes like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's happened to us a couple of times, most recently at the Lincoln Museum. He was talking about one of the generals that was on the porch. There was a statue of some generals on the porch, and one was Grant, and the other guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but Elliot's like, oh yeah, and this guy was in his cabinet and ran against him later. And the guy's like, no, this was just a general. And then we're going through the exhibit, and the guy tried to sound like, yeah, you're right, I'm wrong. I went to college for this, but yeah, you're right. Good job, 6-year-old or 8-year-old.
Right. So the books are called Show Me History, and they're sort of comic book style, and they talk about all different history figures. For example, we have like Abraham Lincoln, Alexander Hamilton, Susan B. Anthony, Amelia Earhart, Harriet Tubman, Sacagawea, like those are a few that I can think of. Helen Keller, we saw Helen Keller recently. So so right now, I think Henry and Elliot both just finished the Amelia Earhart one, and then we also had a couple other books on Amelia Earhart that they read also. So they've really been talking about
really fascinated with her disappearance.
With her disappearance and sort of the conspiracies behind it, or the theories also of what happened. You know, what do we think? Do we think she survived it? Do we think it was, all the stuff? So Henry, or Elliot has asked us about like what he thinks and told us, and Amelia loves it because her name's Amelia. But then Henry says, "Oh, well, she was actually a spy. And did you know that Amelia Earhart was working for Eleanor Roosevelt's husband?"
Wait a minute.
It stopped. Like, it took me a second. Like, it had to hit me at first, and I was like, "Eleanor Roosevelt's husband? You mean the president?"
Was it Franklin Delano Roosevelt, like one of the most consequential people?
But Henry was like, yeah, but Eleanor Roosevelt was really important too. She did a lot. And I mean, I laughed so hard that my stomach was hurting. Like, it was the funniest thing ever. Like, it was so funny to us, and he was just like, why is it so funny? And so then, it led to a really good conversation with the kids that Noah had with them. Did you want to talk about that?
Oh, I was just saying, by the way, when he said that, like, woodsies all around the country rejoiced and gave high fives from wherever they were. I went
to an all-women's college, and we St. Mary of the Woods College, so we refer to each other as woodsies, for those who aren't familiar with that. Go ahead.
I mean, I got my master's there, so I'm technically a woodsy, but nonetheless, you got the winning, because whatever. I mean, I was only named Alumna of the Year, and they had to change the name to freaking award for me. But, right. It's all about you. You're right. So we were talking about Henry, and he thought we were making fun of him, but I was just like, buddy, it's just so funny to me.
And refreshing.
That we've been fighting is a strong word. Women have struggled to be recognized, advocating. They've struggled to be recognized on their own merits for everything, for like their entire existence. They went from property to barely recognized to, rights to vote, but be quiet and be in the back. Now we've come full circle, and we've done a good job raising you, in my humble opinion, to where you didn't just say this was the president's wife, but you gave the president the back seat, and you put some respect on her name. It's like, I don't know, 6-wave feminism or something like that. That's a pretty balanced approach to life. I just really enjoyed it, and I just really, really had a good laugh about it.
Right.
And
it's been good.
It was cool. It was cool. So for next time you pick up a dime with Eleanor Roosevelt's husband's face on it, you think Henry
her.
Charles. Yeah, we thank her for her service.
And Emily Earhart's working for her husband.
Yeah. Boy, yeah. The kids were introduced to the idea of the concept of conspiracy theories, and like we were like at some place, and so I was like, yeah, and you can think about, and they started rattling off 3 or 4 things. So guess who's been getting hundreds of questions about conspiracy theories all week long?
Roswell, New Mexico.
Right. They had a whole play about Roswell, and now they're like, wait a second, there's aliens there, you think? And so we've been having to do all that.
Calm that one down.
Yeah. But
okay,
that can be it for tonight. I'm gonna piece these 2 phone calls together. I'll also take a picture of the shower that we all built together,
hey.
and post that so you all can feel like you were part of something here, even though you did absolutely nothing and I did all the work. But it's a team effort. Y'all are more.
You're Elizabeth Coley's husband. That's all.
That's all I ever wanted to be.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.